Hey, welcome to Law and Society. Please subscribe. I wanted to go over Tom Homan's press conference in Minneapolis today, and it really doesn't seem like the Department of Homeland Security is really going to change much of their tactics. That's at least from the posture of Tom Homan. He talked about incitement of violence, but he meant incitement by state officials and organizations in Minneapolis and Minnesota that were monitoring DHS activity. He didn't mean incitement as it was happening on the ground, incitement by the federal agents who are supposed to enforce immigration law. That's what both Renee Good and Alex Preddy's murders were about. They were incitements to the level of deadly force by federal agents. Then he talked about a drawdown from the theater they have been having and operating and speaking in a manner that would allude that they're at war that's going on within our country, and made that drawdown contingent upon state and local officials cooperating with federal officials. Two issues here. If Tom Homan wants Minneapolis and Minnesota law enforcement to help federal agents, he first has to reduce the number of agents flooding Minnesota at the moment. For every police officer in Minneapolis, there are 5 DHS agents. So, what help can local authorities materially provide when their forces are overwhelmed 5-1 by DHS agents? Second, if by cooperating, Tom Homan means enforcing federal mandates imposed by Donald Trump's executive orders, or even actual federal immigration law, that would be the federal government commandeering state and local officials to carry out federal law enforcement. That goes against the 10th Amendment, and the federal government cannot compel states to do that. Overall, the tone of Homan's press conference was very conditional. He would draw down upon cooperation from state and local officials. And cooperation of this sort is only possible by reducing federal agents first and allowing local and state law enforcement to carry out their peacekeeping missions while federal agents carrying out their federal enforcement missions. But you see how that's cyclical? It can't happen without the other happening first, which is withdrawal of the sort of police force that Donald Trump now has in Minneapolis and Minnesota. Homan's talk about rhetoric and incitement felt entirely self-unaware and unreceptive to the truth, because the violence and rhetoric is not coming from peaceful protesters, whistleblowers, and those following around DHS roving patrols at a safe distance. And courts have said that that is all right. That is not enough for the DHS agents to stop and arrest and harass and murder Minnesota residents. The rhetoric, incitement, arrests, detentions, and murders are coming from Trump's regime, from his DHS goon squad that has ballooned to become the 13th largest military force by numbers and budget in the whole world. In the whole world. Think about that. That's how much money and weight Trump and Republicans have put into DHS. They are determined to carry out their unconstitutional and illegal missions to terrorize non-white communities and even kill white Americans who get in their way, and pass them off as race traitors and aggressors who are an imminent threat to federal agents. Neither Renee Good nor Alex Preddy were these imminent threats, however. Video evidence shows that they were not threats, despite the fact that DHS and Donald Trump's regime stating otherwise. DHS's action in Minneapolis has dispelled all doubts about why Trump's regime wants to crack down on states like Minnesota and other democratically led states. He wants to compromise their election systems before the midterms. Trump wants to find ways to keep Republican majority in Congress by using every lever, legal or illegal, to materially interfere in the 2026 elections. Thanks to Pam Bondi's letter to Governor Walz, their intentions have never been clearer. And our mission should be equally as clear. We cannot let DHS and Donald Trump's regime trample over our constitutional rights and openly murder Americans in the name of immigration enforcement. That is nothing short of domestic terrorism, and Americans will not support it. Our mission is to get the message ingrained in everybody who believes in the rule of law and our Constitution. We will not be intimidated into not voting and not stop believing our own eyes over Donald Trump's regime's lies. With that said, stay safe. Keep your whistles with you. Remember to keep a safe distance from federal agents. Do not interact with them at all. If you are to talk, speak with local and state authorities, even the National Guard if it is Minnesota National Guard, but not federal agents. You can peacefully protest parallel to them, but do not interact with them. Thank you for listening, and I'll talk to you soon.